Urban Brutes.
Well, we should name our brewery that and have it open across the street from them.
Urban Brutes.
We'll just be out there like fighting them every day in the parking lot.
Coming at you live from the Sacramento Hive. I'm Josh.
And I'm John. Welcome to local Beer.Buzz. We talk about those hyped up beers with all that buzz, tell you which ones are the best to drink.
Today we are focusing on collaborations. You heard us right. You know how people do on the internet, little bit of this, little bit of that. You put it in a can, you sell it. That's exactly what we're looking at. And we got 2 from Urban Roots. We got 1 from New Glory. It's going to be a good show, you guys.
Yeah, can't wait to drink these beers. Alright, so our first beer today is from Urban Roots Brewing Company. What beer is that, Josh?
It is Virtual Connection Belgian Pale. It is 4.5% and it was brewed in collaboration with Alagash Brewing Company. Urban Roots is located at 1322 B Street in Sacramento. You can't miss it. They got all the smoke coming from it because, you know, they're smoking them meats all the time.
Yeah.
Well, while I crack this beer open, John's got something to tell you.
Today I'm going to talk to you guys about grading. We grade on a 5-point scale. The first is appearance, the second aroma, third is flavor, fourth is mouthfeel, and fifth is overall impression. Did we like this beer? We also rank the beer on a 6-point scale. From sandbag this beer, which is leave it behind, to would I tattoo this beer on my face, because it's that crazy good.
Alrighty, let's take a look at this beer.
Wow, well,
It's a pretty nice color.
yeah, it has a great color. It's, for a Belgian Pale Ale, I mean, like, you should be looking for a gold color. This one's actually kind of foggy. That's the only downside to it.
Yeah.
Most Belgians that I see aren't necessarily foggy. They're normally, like, pretty clear. But, still, you know, looks good. And, the smell, the aroma is everywhere right now. Josh, what are we smelling?
I'm smelling a lot of banana. A lot of banana. Maybe a little bit of clove. It smells like they use like a Hefeweizen yeast almost.
Yeah, it's very phenolic and estery in the smell, just like most Belgian yeast should be very phenolic and very estery. And by that, I mean that they should have spice character to them and kind of like a fruity smell to them. It's all your perception. And by the way, when you're at home and if you want to play along, take any beer you want and just take it to your nose and smell it and write down what you're smelling or tell someone that's with you what you're smelling. You might smell things that other people don't, and that's because you might have a better ability to smell, a better ability to taste. We just do this a lot. We know what things to kind of look for. Descriptors are really important. The main problem with tasting beer is actually not being able to describe everything that's going on. Most of the time we're overwhelmed.
Yeah, and you know, you're not just born with the quality to be able to tell what's in beer by sniffing and tasting it. It really does take some practice and refining. That's really good. That is really good. Nice and crisp. You get a lot of banana in that, actually. Like it's like a Hefeweizen.
It's definitely strange because it's it goes down it's very thin, and then it has like kind of a mouthfeel that follows behind it with banana and spice character. But the first thing you taste is a very like kind of nice, refreshing, dry beer, and then suddenly there's just layers of like banana and spice character. It's a very interesting beer. Definitely 2 minds put this beer together to make it as delicious as it is.
Yeah, no, and I actually would not have thought this was a Belgian Pale if I tried this. I mean, I wouldn't have thought it was a Hefeweizen by the color and appearance, but if I just tasted this blind, I would have thought this was a Hefeweizen. Just a lot, because there's a lot of banana on that.
I don't know. I would say that the banana is a lot different than a Hefeweizen. Hefeweizen has a very creamy kind of character to it.
That's true. This is a lot drier than a Hefeweizen.
Yeah, and normally the wheat in a Hefeweizen also has a different kind of almost tangy kind of fruitiness to it, whereas this is just very like specifically a banana, specifically like a pear, specifically like these things, and they're just kind of mixed together. Whereas a Hefeweizen, it kind of tastes more like a milkshake kind of version of them. Very creamy, I'd say. This is good. This is a good style.
Really like this one. Get a little more.
The bitterness of it is also kind of round. It's smooth. A lot of Belgian ales that I've had, they're definitely more about kind of showcasing like their ingredients. I think this is a really good example of that.
Yeah, you gotta get this thing away from me. I'm just gonna finish this whole beer. That was really good. I really enjoyed that.
It is very good. I would probably, though.
I'd do a 4-pack just because. I mean, I don't drink many Belgians, so this would not get drinking very quickly. But it is definitely a beer that I want to show my friends who do enjoy Belgians. So I'd get a 4-pack, crack it open with a group of friends.
Yeah, I would say the layer of flavors is very good. Just that it's so light that it almost conflicts with like kind of the body that you get as you're drinking it. That kind of slightly throws me off. So that makes me think that I wouldn't give it the highest score that I can. It's still very good. I would say that this is a 4-pack. This is a Sharon beer right here.
Definitely.
Cool. All right. The next beer that we're going to try today is from New Glory and a brewery called Solid Ground Brewing Company. Where's New Glory located?
New Glory is located at 8251 Alpine Avenue, and Solid Ground is located at 552 Pleasant Valley Road, Diamond Springs.
Diamond Springs, that's right. Solid Ground actually has a lot of hype right now here in Sacramento. Almost as much as New Glory, and New Glory is from Sacramento, so they got to represent. And what's better than representing? Grabbing what's going on there and mixing it together and making an ultimate collab. So this collab is called Strain of Life, a sparkling ale, and it's 9% ABV.
I've never had a sparkling ale. What constitutes as a sparkling ale?
I mean, a lot of things definitely has to be sparkling. Like that's generally they can add a yeast in the end that, like a champagne yeast that gives it a sparkling effect. They can over carbonate it with CO2 with forced carbonation. Or, they could do something different, like add like cider in it or add honey in it. There's a lot of different ways to make a sparkling ale. There's a brewery called Cali Brewing Company that does a bunch of sparkling ales. And while we're not tasting them today, check them out.
Alrighty, let's take a look at this sparkling ale, shall we?
Yeah, can't wait. See them sparkles.
That's not very sparkly for a sparkling ale, let me tell you.
Well, I mean, it does have some continuous bubbles, but it's not super champagne-y like I thought it would be. It still looks nice. It's not clear though. Like I thought it would be like crystal clear. This is actually kind of hazy.
Yeah, I thought this would be crystal clear. I mean, if at the very least sparkle.
Yeah, it does have a nice aroma on it. I mean, it's.
Oh, that's a great aroma.
It's kind of like a hazy aroma. So, I don't know if this is really a sparkling ale. I would say it's more like a not so hazy beer, hazy IPA.
Yeah, let's see how it feels in my mouth.
Yeah.
That feels like champagne in your mouth.
Wow.
And it tastes a little bit like champagne too.
It tastes like champagne. Now this is a trick. I would have called this like a conundrum though.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely looks like one thing, but it tastes like something different. Or an oxymoron. Because it looks like an ale. It doesn't have a whole lot of bubbles in it, like a champagne. It doesn't smell very effervescent like champagne.
It's not super bubbly like champagne either. Like you had the initial burst of bubbles, but champagne. If you ever open champagne, it bubbles and bubbles and bubbles.
But
and bubbles.
the flavor of it, you get like all the citrus and like it's very, very dry. I would say this is more like a brut IPA actually.
Yeah. When something says sparkling, I think there's gonna be bubbles like that dude from Finding Nemo. My bubbles, my beautiful bubbles. That guy. Like I thought that's what this beer was gonna be like, and it's not. And a little bit disappointing, but I'm digging the taste.
It's nice to drink. It's very pleasant to drink.
It really is. Like it's got a great mouthfeel. It's really light. It's got a nice bitterness to it too. Like it does have that bitterness to it, which I really like with the sparkling or with the mouthfeel and how carbonated it is.
I would say that this is definitely though a brut IPA. This is not a sparkling IPA. It looks just like a beer and it tastes like a champagne that's hoppy, which to me is right away this is a brut IPA. This is very, very dry, very, very clean, very much orange, tangerine.
Yeah.
A little bit of maybe
a little lemon in there. Like I get a lot of tangerine. A lot of tangerine,
yeah, very, very citrusy. And then I get little bits of pineapple juice, but not that much. It's very much on the citrus side.
Just a itty bitty bit.
This beer tastes sweet, slightly sweet, but it's actually just my senses being thrown off by the amount of alcohol in it.
There's a lot of alcohol in this.
It's
I'm gonna put this down. No, I'm gonna finish it.
It's good though. Is it good enough for a keg? I would say that this is.
Man, you know what? Yeah, it is good enough for a keg.
Yeah, it's good enough for a keg. Yeah,
But would I get one?
Yes.
No, because that would be way too dangerous.
Yeah.
But for the sake of this, yeah, this is
For
a keg.
the rating, yes, this is a keg.
And you know, we were actually pretty critical of this beer, but it still came out as a keg. It's just like
It's a very good beer. It's very tasty.
This next beer is a collab between Urban Roots and Kind Humans.
Kind humans? Aren't we kind humans?
No, not that type of Kind Humans. KindHumans.com. They are a brand focused around the betterment of people and the environment. Quite honestly, I don't know too much about them besides the fact that they brewed this beer with Urban Roots. Go to KindHumans.com if you're interested in learning more. Oh, don't, but we're gonna drink their beer. So, what this beer is called is Kind for Nothing, which is an unfiltered IPA. It is 7%, and while I crack this open, John has like the most important part of your day for you.
This is some important stuff I'm about to like explode your brain with. Today I'm going to talk to you about Hop Hero Homebrew Supply. Hop Hero Homebrew Supply has got epic supplies, both beer making supplies, wine making supplies, supplies for making anything that is awesome and fermented. Come check us out at www.hophero.com. Thanks.
Alrighty, let's take a look at this beer. This collab.
This collab. What is this collab called again, Josh?
This collab is called Kind for Nothing.
Kind for Nothing.
And
sometimes you can be kind for nothing, and it's okay.
I feel like that's kind of just a play on Drake's song Nice for What? You know, kind for nothing, nice for what? It's like, be original, bro.
Be kind. Rewind. The color, though, is foggy. Is it supposed to be hazy?
It's an unfiltered IPA. So, okay. I guess, I mean, you know, it doesn't say West Coast, and let's see.
So unfiltered is actually what they used to call the lazy IPAs before they're called the hazy IPAs. Oh, I just rhymed.
Lazy, hazy, I did not know that. Please continue.
So an unfiltered is basically, it can have proteins floating in it, it can have yeast floating in it, it's just not filtered.
And just to shout it out, this is Strata and Citra. And Strata and Citra are two of my favorite hops, so I'm actually pretty excited for this.
Some mango and some like papaya. And definitely some very citrusy like notes.
I brew a lot with Strata and Citra, and this smells like a lot of my IPAs. You know, when you have Strata and Citra in the same glass, they come out, it just all smells the same. Like, it really does. It smells tropical, it smells citrusy.
So, Strata and Citra, they're both very tropical, good hops, but as a homebrew guru, I kind of know that they're also very high sulfur hops. So sulfur can be an off flavor, but it can also be a tropical flavor. When you combine two hops together that are very high in sulfur, you get a very higher sulfur flavor. So this could have some very high off flavors, but it can also be very tropical. But as it warms up in temperature, it might actually have a very sulfury, not very good flavor because of the combination. Again, I get kind of like a weird biscuit, tropical fruit.
You gotta taste this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow, that is good. That is just juice. I want to put this in a Beer.Buzz coming soon.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely get the mango, you get papaya,
you know,
you get guava.
I gotta say, I don't like the mouthfeel on this. I don't like the mouthfeel at all. It doesn't go down easy.
So I definitely taste sulfur on it too. Like I do get that sulfur flavor as well, which I was hoping I would not get in this beer, but I do get it. It's kind of on the edges of
It's all I'm tasting.
The tongue.
Like it's juice and then sulfur.
Yeah, and it's got like the mouthfeel of it is a little bit interesting. It's got some body to it, and then it's a little bit dry. It's kind of almost I mean
it's almost too fruity, almost too juicy.
And that's kind of the problem is like if you like I said, if you blend super hops like that together, and you don't use, you know, something in between or something to kind of layer the flavor, you just get tropical fruit, and then sulfur.
So for me, I get a lot of pineapple off this. I get a lot of pineapple and then just straight sulfur. But I feel like every sip, like that last sip was a lot of pineapple than sulfur. I feel like every sip it's a little bit different, but just wow, like I could be done with this beer in a couple sips just because it's just so much to take in. I am not a fan of this beer, and that is shocking because I love Urban Roots. I have liked everything we've had so far from Urban Roots. If you saw our first video, you know how much I like them.
It's kind of hard to figure out what's going on there, but there's some kind of biscuity kind of flavor I'm getting in the malt. It is straight highs and lows because I'm getting fresh fruit, and then I'm getting like kind of hot sulfur, and then I'm getting like biscuit that I feel like it shouldn't be in the beer. It's strange.
I'd sandbag it.
I would not sandbag it.
I'm sandbagging it.
It has a lot going on. I mean, I would say the layers and layers of flavor. I mean, this is at least a 4-pack. This is a beer where I would share with people and be like, try this. This is crazy. This messes with your mouth. Like, it throws your senses off.
This is stomach problems in a cup.
It's beer. You can always make it better. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, we are localbeer.buzz. We tell you about those epic beers with all the buzz and the ones that are
yeah, just kind of there.